Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Nosco and welcome to Glow. Today I'll be leading you through a 30-minute Qigong sequence to help with emotional regulation. So when you think about it, when someone says, wow, I'm really worked up right now, even in our language, the words worked up suggests that when we're upset or when we're emotionally triggered, that the energy is up. And similarly, nobody tells you to calm up. People tell you to calm down. So when we're working with any sort of emotional support or when you are triggered emotionally, this idea is that we want to bring the energy from the upper centers down into the lower centers. And in fact, when we are triggered, there can be even what's called a disassociation, meaning that the mind is actually completely out of the body. The energy is so high that it's actually just not even in the body. So, a caveat is to say that all yoga and Qigong will really help with emotional regulation. But in this class in particular, I'm going to be focusing on practices that help move the energy down. So we are going to work with an energy point today that I use a lot with my therapy clients because I also work as a psychotherapist. So one of those points is actually called the Lao Gong, and it's at the center of the palm. And I'll just kind of come up to the camera a bit closer to show you. So if you make a fist like this, right where your middle finger lands, the center of the palm, that is the Lao Gong point. Okay, and we're going to be using that point today kind of throughout our practice to both emit qi and gather it. We're also going to be doing practices for something called the triple warmer, which is an invisible organ in Chinese medicine, which relates very much to the distribution of heat and the movement of emotion. And then if there's time, we'll work also with an exercise for the liver, because the liver also relates to the smooth movement of energy and the smooth movement of qi. So without further ado, let's get started. And if you've never done Qigong before, the beauty of it is you don't need anything. You can literally do it anywhere, anytime, and you don't need any equipment. So we're going to get started with the feet shoulder distance apart. And to begin, we're actually going to start by shaking the hands. And what this is doing is it's clearing any kind of toxic energy out of the hands. Any kind of toxicity that is accumulated from your day, just imagine that you're just kind of shaking it off. We'll do more shaking in a second, but let's just do the hands first. Good. And then we're going to rub the hands together. So this is what's called harvesting qi. And I normally do this at the end of class, but I want to actually start with it today to really activate those Lao Gong points in the center of the hand. Good. So harvest the qi. Rub your hands a little faster. And as you do this, please close your eyes if you feel comfortable as you rub your hands. Go ahead and then slow the rubbing and then separate your hands. And just notice if you feel, like what you feel as you separate your hands, as if you're holding like an energy ball. And as you hold this energy ball, I want you to just ask that all parts of you that might have been triggered, that might have been jumped out of your body and vacated today, is just invite all parts of you back here. And imagine all of your awareness now floating into the space between your palms. And then take your hands to your eyes. And as you breathe in, I want you to breathe in from the Lao Gong points to your brain. And breathe out from your brain to your gut, which is the second brain, right? Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, hands to brain. Exhale, brain to gut. Last one, hands to brain. Brain to gut. Good, and then releasing your hands. Just slide your hands down your face and just massage your face a little bit, up the bridge of your nose, down the temples to your jaw, like you're massaging your face in a heart-shaped pattern. Good, and now rub your hands together again. Gather more of you, more of your qi, more of your energy. Good, separate the hands, feel that energy ball. Good, and now I want you to take this energy ball to the belly. You're going to stack your hands, doesn't matter which hand for now, palm on palm, So 2 Laogong points right into your gut. And I'd like you to please breathe deeply into your hands if you can. If you can't, it's okay, you're just imagining it. So inhale, imagine breathing into your hands. And as you exhale, I want you to exhale down your hands through your legs and into your feet, into the earth. And do 2 more breaths like that. And 1 more, breathing from hands to gut. Exhale from gut to the feet. Release your hands, and as we do almost every class, I'd like you to close your eyes and just stand in what's called Wuji posture, which is the feet shoulder distance apart, tailbone dropping down, chin tucked, crown of the head lifting. Close your eyes if you're comfortable, and I want you to imagine as though you're standing in your favorite place in nature. So lately for me, it's been among the old growth forests in British Columbia, near where I live. But maybe for you, it's the beach or another forest somewhere. But I want you to just imagine your favorite place in nature. And just notice how you feel when you're standing in nature. And it's this energy that we're gathering, okay? Now I want you to imagine your Laogong points like magnets, and you're gonna take that energy and bring it down. And the first pass, we're gonna bring it down, just like a coffee plunger. We're gonna bring it down the front of the body. And what you're bringing down is that energy from nature, that feeling of contentment, that feeling of ease. And you're just allowing that to wash like a golden light down the front of your body, down the thighs, down the knees, all the way down the tops of the feet and into the earth. And then we're going to do that again. So inhale, gather. And imagine that energy now rinsing down the back line of the body. Rinsing down the shoulders, the spine, the buttocks, down the backs of the legs, down the heels and into the earth. And then last one, you're going to gather with those Laogong points. The Laogong points are going to point to the crown, and then that energy is going to actually enter the center of your body. Imagining it rinsing away any tension in the brain, the throat, the chest, the belly, down the pelvis, down the center of each leg bone, and all the way into the feet. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to work with some clearing and some warm-ups. Okay, so just working with some energy, what's called purgation practices. But before we do that, let's just do a little bit of warming up. So let's bring the hands onto the kidneys and just start to roll the head from right to left. Warming up the joint of the neck. The next time the neck or the chin comes towards the chest, we'll do some spinal breathing. So rounding the spine a lot, making fists, and then inhale, opening the chest. Just a few. We're not going to do a ton of this today, just a little bit of spinal movements to help us warm up. One more. Good. Let's do some rotations. So we're going to tap the lungs and the kidneys on the back. And I always say, like, imagine as though you have a bosu ball, one of those big, round, squishy balls in between your knees. So you're really grounded and rooted in your legs. And smile. Encouraging the chi to come into the body. Good. And then let's tap under the ribcage on either side, waking up the spleen and the stomach. Good. And then tapping the sea of chi, that space between the pubis bone and the navel. Again, that encouragement, dropping the chi down into the lower belly, into the lower centers. Really feel grounded, centered in the legs. Good. And then slow the movement, but keep tapping the lower dantian like you're collecting chi there. It's like you're gathering all of your energy into this center, into your center. Good, and then slow down. Okay, let's move into the purgation exercises we'll do today, which are one I do almost every class and then a new one. So this one is just dropping post. So we're just coming up onto the heel, onto the toes and dropping on the knees. Now for injuries, if you do have any kind of foot, ankle injury, you can just bounce on the knees, okay? But if your feet are healthy, I actually want you to drop on your heels, and that vibration is gonna reverberate up through the bones and the skeleton. So I find that shaking is really great for any kind of emotional regulation. So if you think about like an animal in nature, when it is chased, it releases cortisol and stress hormones. But then when you see afterwards, what an animal will do is it will shake. It will shake off. It's almost like when the shaking kind of resets our nervous system. So as humans, you know, we are often triggered by that email that we read or that phone call, and then we don't shake it off. We just kind of hold it and stuff it down. And then that chi stagnates in the body and it leads to disease, or what I call dis-ease in the system. So we're letting that go. So you might take a deep breath in through the nose and just exhale out the mouth. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale and exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. Good, okay, and then slow your movements down. And we're gonna bring our feet hip distance, or sorry, shoulder distance again. And we're gonna do what's called trembling horse. So this is like a full body shake off. So thinking of like Taylor Swift's Shake It Off song, it's like that. We are like a dog that just got out of the water and we're gonna shake. I want this movement to actually start from the upper leg bone. So we're getting right into that psoas, that deep core muscle. We're gonna shake, shake, shake. And then we're actually gonna tremble the lips on the exhale. So it'll be inhale and exhale. Now you might think this is silly, but I promise it's very good for your nervous system to reset it. So let's do two or three more. Again. And really letting that all go. One more. Good, and then slowly begin to round up, and now just bounce on the knees. So their feet are wider, and you're gonna go from side to side. And what you're gonna feel is probably already your chi really activated. That's good. Okay. Okay, great. And now I want you to come to center, and if your eyes aren't closed right now, just close them. And I want you to suddenly just stop. And just feel the chi, feel the energy around you, and connect again into nature, into your place that you like to go in nature. And just notice how you feel as you're held here in nature. So now we're going to do something called chi bath. So I want you to imagine that now all of that debris that we just kicked up, we're going to wash it away, okay? So as you inhale, you're going to bring your hands to your head, and you can just watch me for this first round. So you're going to inhale, your hands are going to sweep over your head. As you exhale, the backs of the hands will almost touch as you bring the hands down and back to the kidneys. Inhale into the lower dantian, and exhale, release. So lower dantian means the lower elixir field is where we want our energy to rest. So inhale, head. You're not touching, you're just kind of swooping. Exhale to the kidneys. Inhale to the lower belly. And exhale, release. We'll do a few more so you kind of get the hang of it. So inhale, it's like you're sweeping that chi over your head, bringing it, exhale, all the way down to the kidneys. Inhale, lower belly, and release any excess. Again, inhale. Exhale to the kidneys, backs of the hands almost touch. Inhale, belly, like you're filling, and then exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale all the way to the kidneys. Inhale, belly, and release to the ground. Inhale, rinse over the head. Exhale to the kidneys. Inhale, deep abdominal breath to the belly. And exhale, release. Last one, inhale. Washing. Exhale, wash down to the kidneys. I like to bend my knees when I do that. And then inhale to the navel. And exhale, release. Just notice how you feel. Maybe a bit more in your body, or the energy maybe a bit further down. Okay. So next we're going to activate a little bit more the Lao Gong. So I want you to take your right hand and you're actually just going to punch your left hand. So we're just really activating through the Lao Gong point. And we're going to do next two postures for the pericardium and the triple warmer. So these are like, these are organs that aren't recognized in Western medicine. Okay, let's do the other side. That help to regulate the heat in the body and also emotions. And also they protect the heart. So because they protect our heart, and they tend to get riled up when we're riled up. Good, and then we're gonna tap the backs of the hands or the sides of the hands together like this. Good, and then in between the fingers, like so. Other side, other weird way. Good, and now tips of the fingers. Good, and then bring your hands together. Bring your hands in front of your heart and bring your feet wide. Point your toes out. So we're gonna come into what's called a horse stance. So there's different stances in Qigong. This is a horse stance, so the feet are out wide and the knees are tracking about over the toes. I want you to just really feel the chi and the energy start to sink into the earth. Start to feel the strength of your legs. And now I want you to twist, like really push your hands together and twist your hands so the Lao Gong points are stacked one on top of the other with your right hand on top. So it's gonna look like that, like your hands are sandwiched, okay? And as you do that, I want you to push your right hand down into your left and then start to sit down. Good, and then you're gonna spin your hands back together as you stand up, hands to prayer, and then spin the other way, push your left hand into your right and sit. We're gonna keep going. So it'll be inhale, you're kind of spinning those Lao Gong points together, and then exhale, you're gonna push down. So the Lao Gong is translated as the working palace, or also palace of weariness. And one of the ways my teacher describes this is it's kind of like a place we can rest when we're weary. It's like when our heart is weary, this is where we can rest. And it's a spirit point, meaning that this energy, this point will transmit chi and it will also absorb it. So it's like a push-pull. It's like, you know, when we get an energy treatment or energy healing from someone, that's where the energy is emitted from, is that Lao Gong. So we're warming that up, working with this pericardium, inhaling and exhaling. Okay, you can also close your eyes here if you want, if you feel comfortable. Can you match your inhale and your exhale with your movement? So every inhale, it's like exactly when you stand and your hands are sandwiched. And then exhale is exactly the moment when you're kind of down low and the chi is down. Let's do one more, each direction. So we're actually going to finish on the left. So yeah, the next time your left hand is pushing down and you sit down, come back up, walk your feet together about shoulder distance, and you're actually just going to hold your hands where they are. Bring your hands underneath your throat. So with our Laogong points all charged up, we're next going to move into a triple warmer exercise. So this one, I want you to focus on releasing what you need to release and bringing in more fresh chi. So this first one is for the upper burner, related to the emotions of the heart. So any kind of scattered energy, overexcitement, shock, or disassociation. Okay, so I want you to inhale here. And as you inhale, again, you're just like focusing on bringing in fresh energy. And as you exhale, you're gonna bring the arms out to the side and open them like you're opening a door. And as you open that door, just imagine like releasing what you need to release. And then as you inhale, and when I inhale, I like to bend my knees. It's like I'm collecting fresh chi into that upper chamber. Upper jiao is what we call it, upper burner. And then exhale, release. Open the door, release what you need to release. And then inhale, bringing in. And exhale, releasing. So also upper jiao, upper burner, related to the lungs. So we're releasing any sadness or grief that we haven't, and not prematurely releasing grief, but any kind of stuck kind of sadness, releasing that also from the upper jiao, upper burner. And I always like to kind of move my legs also. So I bend my knees as I inhale, and then I kind of like to straighten them out a little, but never locking joints as I release. So with Qigong, generally, when we bring energy in, we can let the eyes close. So as you bring in the fresh chi, maybe close your eyes. And then as you release, open your eyes, but keep your gaze almost blurry. It's said that toxic chi will actually leave out of the eyes. So when people ask me, eyes open or eyes closed, number one, you do what feels most safe for you and supportive for your nervous system. But if you are working energetically, we generally say when we're toning, meaning we're bringing in energy, we want the eyes closed so we can really focus on where that energy is going. And then when we exhale and we're clearing, maybe the eyes open. Okay, let's do one more for this one. Good, and then gathering. Bringing that, in the emotions of the heart, when in balance, is genuine joy and peace. And in the lungs is our integrity and our courage. Okay, let's move now to the middle jiao. So we're gonna bring our hands so that the fingers are facing the screen or however you're watching me here, whatever size screen you have going on. So middle jiao, we're focusing on the spleen and the liver. So those emotions, anger and worry, okay? So let's inhale here. And exhale, opening the door, releasing worry from the spleen, anger from the liver, and then we're gonna gather and bring in fresh resources, fresh chi. And then exhale, release. Inhaling. And exhaling. So another comment that I get a lot in these classes is that I breathe too fast or too slow. Please breathe at your own pace. So once you have, the thing is with these Qigong exercises is some of them are complicated, but a lot of them are very simple. So my suggestion is once you get the choreography, is just breathe at your own pace. So you're inhaling, and I like to bend my knees and I gather in fresh resources. And then it's like I'm opening the door, releasing. Move at your own breath rhythm. Let's do one more. Good, and then gathering compassion into the liver and then trust in the spleen. Good. And now you're going to move your hands down to your navel and point them down. So now your fingers are kind of pointing in between your legs. We're going to go to the lower jiao, which relates to the kidneys. So from here, what we're releasing on the emotional level is fear. And if you think of fear as like the foundation of a lot of our negative emotions, a lot of the emotions that tend to work us up. So inhale here and exhale, open the door. Releasing fear. Inhale, gather your resources. That feeling of being supported, trusting life. And exhale, release. Inhale, gather. Exhale, release. Move at your own pace. So one of my suggestions, another way you can emotionally regulate, if you can do this outside, number one. Number two, music is really great. But ambient music, even nature sounds. So maybe if you ever go back and practice this as a recording, or if you are practicing this as a recording and you want to repeat this exercise, just put on some nature sounds, nature music. I find that to be also really helpful for emotional regulation, is anything that gets us in our senses. Even burning a scented candle or an incense that can, add in that sense of smell. So being in the senses is also very good for that emotional regulation. So let's go a couple more. Inhale, breathing in your resources, and exhale, releasing. And now you're going to gather that energy into the lower belly, into the lower dantian. Close your eyes and notice how you feel. So we don't have time for the liver exercise today. I'll have to share that in another class. We're going to end with what's called ascending the yin, descending the yang. And this is really just helps the qi circulate in the lower centers of the body. So Lao Gong stacked on Lao Gong. Bring both of your hands towards your left hip. Slide your hands down your left outer leg, cross at the foot, and slide the hand up the inner leg. Cross the abdomen, slide the hands down the outer right leg, and then up the inner right leg. And just do that a few times. Down the left, up right, down the right, up the right. It's kind of like you're tying yourself into the ground. And we'll end on the right here. And then we're going to do both at the same time. So inhale to the kidneys, exhale down both legs, across the feet, up the inside of the leg, and exhale down. And last one. Good. And then stacking your hands one on top of the other, gather the energy in the lower dantian 9 times each way. Really helps to ground the energy. And notice how you feel. Maybe you feel more in your body. Check in with your emotions. I hope that was helpful for you today and was supportive for you if you've been experiencing any kind of emotional turmoil. Once again, my name is Stephanie Nosco, and I really hope to see you next time on Glow. Have a lovely day, everyone.